Hello, I'm Luke. Welcome to this week's episode of Ref Lounge. Simon's on his jolly holiday, so I'll be stepping in for him. I'm still joined with Keith Hackett, luckily though, to discuss the weekend's action. We'll start with Wolves Leicester, with Mike Dean officiated, and the big talking point from this one was the VAR, Keith.
Yeah, I think the thing that worries me is the credibility that VAR is losing by the very nature of offside decisions.
Yeah.
When we look at the law, we can argue that the call that they've made is the correct one. However, I think that the process of creating the line with the cameras that they're using and the level of accuracy that they're actually implying is, putting it mildly, doubtful. I'm fully aware of how goal line technology cameras operate. I know that they're at 500 frames per second. These are pulled from 50 frames per second. And I think that the IFAB will be looking, hopefully, at their next meeting at trying to improve the scenario and go back to how I used to operate when I was the boss of the PGMOL. And that was benefit of doubt to the forward. And then that was a judgment made by top-class assistant referees. And the outcome was, I think, better decisions than we're seeing currently with VAR.
Yeah. We have the handball decision. Now, what are your views on this one, Keith?
Well, I think first of all, we've got Simon Hooper, who's having one of his rare outings. And I think generally the game went well for him, in fairness. This was the major talking point. And for me, the outcome was that the VAR got it right. When we look at the law, we're actually looking for the defender to deliberately handle the ball, to make the silhouette of the body larger. And when you actually look at the video replays, for me, he's not being deliberate in going for the ball. I think he's trying to withdraw his arm, and I think the conclusion is it's doubtful, therefore don't give a penalty kick, and that was the right decision by VAR on this occasion.
Quickly moving on, we have a penalty that wasn't given, and I cannot understand why this was never looked at by VAR, or if it was looked at by VAR, why they didn't spot it.
Well, I think this draws up quite a substantial debate. I think first of all, let's talk about the referee Stuart Atwell, because he's growing in stature, he's growing in confidence, his movement around the field of play is terrific, so he's a fit referee, and his decision making has a great deal of accuracy. This was the one blot for me, and he's not alone as referees. I think there are far too many referees on the select group and down in the divisions below allowing grappling, holding and pulling to take place in the penalty area, and it's going unpunished. And the reality is the game of football is about skill and not the strength of being able to wrestle a player to the ground.
Yeah, definitely. They're
obviously mindful that Van Dijk's come up. He's in an attacking phase. He's dangerous because he's a great header of the ball. So what do? We take him out of the game, and that's exactly what they did. And the outcome should have been a penalty kick.
Yeah, definitely.
No question.
It happens every corner, nearly every game, doesn't it? But when you watch it on replay, he literally wrestles him straight to the floor.
Yeah, this was an easy one.
Next, we have the penalty that wasn't given. VAR looks at it from Martin Atkinson, and then gives it. Also, I know that you're a big fan of Atkinson this year, aren't you, Keith? And his performance again was quite good.
I think that Martin is a mature referee, a lot of experience, uses it to good effect, stays out of it, is a low-key operator, and I think that's what fans want in the game, ideally. So for me, VAR intervention, this is a tight call, he's not given it.
No.
I've had several looks at it, as the VAR did, and rightly awarded a penalty kick. So for me, correct decision to award a penalty kick and VAR operating. However, we've got a referee of great experience, of great skill, and what we're not doing is selling the decision to the public with VAR. This was an ideal opportunity for Martin to go to the side of the pitch, take a few seconds more, have a look, come back and say, I'm happy either with what I've not given, or I'm happy that it's a penalty kick. That sells it to everyone and doesn't put VAR in any sort of doubt. No. So a good decision.
Arsenal v Newcastle, and just comment on the performance really from the referee.
Well, I mean, first of all, we congratulate Lee Mason because he's been given the Football League final, the Caribou Cup as it's called,
Right.
final, which is a great honour for any referee. So I think it's deserved. I've been critical over recent months about Lee. I think it's reflected in the limited number of appointments he's got. I think that Atkinson is around about 21, 22. Lee's around about a dozen games, so he's well off the pace. On this occasion, I thought the players just got on with it, and that helped his refereeing performance. But, easy for me to say that. He put in the effort, and he got the reasonable outcomes. And it's delighted. We're going to a game where we're not talking about controversial incidents.
Yeah, definitely. That's the games done from this weekend. Thanks, Keith.
Pleasure.
It were a quick one. And we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Thanks.